Try as we might to give you spring game coverage, it seems that basketball just does not want to go away. The Cavinder Twins are leaving Miami. My plot thickens for Haley Van Lith to go to a new Adidas team down in the, what is it? Not the 305. Yeah, there we go. We also want to talk about Jesse Edwards leaving Syracuse and Jae'Lyn Withers being in at UNC. But was he the guard that the Tar Heels needed from the Cardinals? Let's talk about it on today's show.
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The price must be too high for the Cavinder Twins as they are making their exit from maybe basketball, definitely Miami. And it seems the portal party is still popping as Jesse Edwards is finding his way out of Syracuse because he wants more money than just Central New York. Welcome to today's edition of Locked On ACC. I'm your host, Candace Cooper, joined by Kenton Gibbs of Locked On Wolfpack. Sometimes he's here all the time. We are talking about some more basketball news. As much as we want to talk about spring game coverage, it just feels like UNC, NC State, Syracuse, Miami, everybody and their mama's trying to get new homes and new players, and free agency is alive and well for college hoops. Kenton, how are you feeling when it comes to just all this latest updates?
I mean, hey, this is the new world we live in. Player movement is always going to be a thing that teams need to factor in now, and we're seeing some major players on the move.
Yeah. And, Key Glock said, famous rapper, don't know if you guys know, some motion is better than no motion. But at this point, some of y'all just need to sit still. I ain't gonna hold you.
I mean, if we're talking Key Glock references, money in reference to, motion and what he was referencing is money and or certain plays or things to run in order to make some money.
Kenton, we didn't need the actual literal breakdown.
I'm just helping our viewers understand. All of our viewers may not be familiar with Key Glock. They may not be familiar with Young Dolph. Their Paper Route Empire may mean nothing to them. So I wanted to help them out a little bit.
You couldn't even let my analogy just let it sit. Like, we already starting out bad. Let's change.
Well, listen, all I'm saying is this: there is, in terms of players who are potentially holding their motion down by staying at their university, the Cavinder Twins may absolutely fall into that case, right? We saw it with the Gonzalez twins at UNLV.
Terrible.
I mean, I'm not saying that the Gonzalez twins are anywhere near the players that the Cavinder Twins are. I'm saying in terms of their earning potential off the court.
Okay.
Very similar situation to the Cavinder Twins, wouldn't you say?
I would say the Cavinder Twins have exponentially better potential.
Earning potential?
Yes. Have you looked at the Cavinder Twins?
What does that have to do with anything?
Blonde hair, Caucasian women.
I'm not doing this with you today. You're going to get us canceled. You're going to get us kicked off the air.
I'm not trying to get kicked off the air. I'm just being the reality of they're very marketable. And I think they have a lot of windows and avenues with which they can open, and leaving basketball seems to be the right idea for them. I'm happy for them. I like the Cavinder Twins. I think that not only they can hoop, but they also are extremely gorgeous and talented, and TikTok can do all the things. I just feel like of the two that you're comparing, they have better earning potential. That's just my thoughts.
Sure.
But I think the Gonzalez ones are beautiful. Like, what are we doing?
Sure. You're missing the point. We're getting in the weeds, and we're missing. We can't see the forest from the trees.
Says the man who had to explain my motion and no motion.
It played into what I'm saying now. If I wasn't being so rudely interrupted.
No, you rudely cut off my motion. All right, we'll start out the show better. All right, go ahead. Take two. Let's try it again.
Let's try it again. Now, as I was saying, we have seen similar situations. We saw it with the kicker, destroying, who went to UCF. We saw it with the Gonzalez twins. We may be seeing a similar situation with the Cavinder twins, which is very interesting because NIL was designed for exactly this type of situation. It was designed for the type of situations where when players had elite earning potential based upon who they are, they were supposed to be able to capitalize upon that while also playing their sport. So it begs to venture, or it kind of boggles the mind a little bit. What type of situation are y'all looking at that you were like, I guarantee you, not only is this so much more lucrative than what we could possibly get at Miami, this would also exclude us from playing at Miami if we were to receive this type of benefit? That is the question for me for the Cavinder Twins in terms of motion, because again, what isn't fair game now? We heard about the dealerships giving players at Ohio State new cars, and you get a car that you can lease for X amount of months, turn it in, get a new one, and these are exotic luxury cars. Now, if that is a part of NIL, what under God's green earth are y'all receiving that you're like, hey, we may need to leave this school or basketball altogether to receive? Is my question there.
Answer to, if I can respond. Can I respond?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I don't think it has anything to do with what potential earnings. I think 5 years is a lot to play basketball. And maybe they just are tired. 4 years, they've given to the university, they've got their degrees. Maybe they just want to go ahead and be businesswomen. Maybe they don't want to play basketball. I think two things can be true. Well,
and I'm not saying that that's wrong or bad. The thing that confuses me is, okay, if they're in the transfer portal, then like,
they're not in the portal.
I'm sorry, they're not in the portal. They're just not returning. Okay. Yeah. That now it makes more sense. Okay. That makes sense. Hey, they gave their time to the university. They got their degrees. They want to go make money. We all know how this game works. It's the same thing that I said to Chase Young. I'm sorry. We had each other confused there because I thought you said they were in the portal instead of just not returning to Miami. But anywho, with that being said, it makes sense. You go to college to get a good job. You get a good job to make money, all that good stuff. If they can go ahead and make some good money without being on the court, then hey, go do your thing. In the words of Key Glock's contemporary, get paid, young person, get paid.
I'm looking at you sideways because you don't listen to me, and that's okay. I love you anyway. All right, guys, we not only are talking about the Cavinder Twins, but the portal party is popping for Jesse Edwards, who wants to make more money than he can make out of Central New York. And I think it's very interesting considering a lot of people always talk about the struggles of Syracuse and, is that a marketable place in terms of playing college hoops, playing college football? Is it a lucrative opportunity for a lot of these players who are very NIL minded these days? And for him to be a strong reason for consideration and wanting to capitalize a little bit better in a different location, I'm sitting here saying, is Syracuse in trouble, especially on top of no longer have a Hall of Fame coach at the helm?
I'm looking at this Jesse Edwards situation, and his dad is speaking very clearly and very plainly about, he wanted a satisfactory NIL deal and all that. And again, this is why I say players need wise, objective third-party counsel of some sort to let them know about their options and all the good things, because with all due respect, your son has NBA potential. Like, Jesse has legit NBA potential. And with certain schools in certain sports, I get it. I'm not mad at you. Yeah. Even if your child goes pro in that sport and plays for 8 years and becomes one of the highest paid to ever do it, and their career is cut short by a tragic injury, being the highest paid at many of these sports means you're going to have to go back to work. You're going to have to update that LinkedIn, buddy. That's the reality. But he's a basketball. If this man goes to the league, if he stays on the right track, goes to the league and plays for, 7-8 years, he doesn't even have to be a Supermax guy. Get a Timofey Mozgov type contract. All of a sudden, you're a 90 millionaire, brother. What's going on?
1,000%.
We're again can't see the forest from the trees. Now, if it is in his best interest, if you feel like he could get himself in a situation where he can more thoroughly be seen by teams in the league, or he can more thoroughly put himself in position to make it to the league by going to these other places, hey, I'm all for it. Do your thing, Jesse. Go where you got to go. But NIL at this point in time in the ball game for him,
it's kind of crazy. But my brother in Christ, you playing on a Syracuse team that you're literally one of the only bright spots for the program, and historic basketball program at that. Give or take how you feel about them, how many national championship, Final Four, blah blah blah, whatever. You're literally one of the only bright spots. And you want to walk away from that and you're the man because you think grass greener? Where you want to go, to Miami? He trying to be Isaiah. He trying to be Isaiah Wong. That's what it is. He said he get mad because Amir got a little too much love. Maybe that was it.
I mean, I'm sure that somebody is putting together an excellent NIL package.
Yeah,
but again,
we hope.
Are you missing the forest from the trees? And this is not to say that I am against players getting paid. Y'all know me. If I'm for anybody getting paid, baby, I gave 3 tendons for the university I played for. If I'm for anybody getting some money out of this, I've long held the point that if the players are amateurs, then make the coaches amateurs, make Kirk Herbstreit and everybody else who talks college football and amateurs, make them all amateurs. But what I am saying is, if you're factoring in or not factoring in, if money is your sole motive for leaving that university, all I would say is make sure that you're going to a place that not only is lucrative, but also puts you in a position to accomplish your goals moving forward. You don't want that short-term $250,000 deal with a local dealership to end you at a school where the big man gets 4 touches a game, if that. You don't want that to end you up at a place where they switch everything, which means you're regularly going to have to be barbecue chicken trying to guard 6-footers that are extremely quick and have a great handle on the perimeter. You don't want to end up in that type of place. So while money should be a factor, and I'm fine with that, making that the driver, that's a dangerous territory.
I'm really hoping that there's a deeper rooted thing here. I'm really hoping that Autry was like, I don't want you. I'm really hoping that it was just like he's sick of Syracuse. Like it has to be a better reason that you want more money than out of Central New York. It has to be.
I want to say, good and well, Autry didn't tell him that, but there are alleged stories of coaches saying dumber things to better players. So I'll allow it. It's possible. It's possible that it happened.
I hope he enters. He sees it. The grass ain't greener, and he come right back. Because people, I mean, the portal is not final. Okay, it's limbo for a lot of people, and it's very much lucrative right now. There are so many people in it. Let's see how it goes. All right, guys. Grand slams, no hitters, and double plays are back. And there's no better place to get an MLB action than with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. That's right, because right now new customers can step up to the plate with a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 by following FanDuel.com/locked-on to sign up today. You place your first bet, you get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Listen, whether or not you want to make a bet if Aaron Judge can pick up where he left off this season, if you have a favorite pitcher that you just can't get enough of, if you want to see who's going to make an all-star tournament, or not all-star tournament, make an all-star weekend appearance, make sure you hit up FanDuel.com/locked-on and get $1,000 when you join FanDuel today with a no-sweat first bet. FanDuel is the official partner of Major League Baseball. Rocking and rolling with Kenton Gibbs, and we're talking through portal party action. We mentioned the Cavinder Twins are leaving Miami. They are leaving basketball, allegedly, not entering the portal. Jesse Edwards is in the portal, and we also have people within the ACC that have found a new home. Jae'Lyn Withers is in at North Carolina, and the fact that Louisville Cardinal guarded that found himself in Chapel Hill is cool, but as Kenton and I talked before we got here on the mic, it's like going to the grocery store. Your mama tells you to pick out an orange juice, but the one behind, the one in front, the standout.
He's a forward, but you're absolutely right in that,
Can you let me finish my analogy? Can you let me finish my analogy?
I'm sorry. I just
you're already on thin ice with my motion and no motion.
I wanted to help you out because the fans got on me about the Beekman and Cedric thing, and I'm like, I got them confused all year. And nobody said.
You spent a whole season getting them wrong. They don't even look alike.
Because nobody ever corrected me and said, hey, Kenton, the big that you're thinking of, his last name is Cedric, and the guard that you're thinking of is Beekman. And I'm like, oh, okay, my bad. But anyway, the fact of the matter is I think that this is a very interesting get for UNC, and not because, I'm not afraid to say. Last year before the season, what did I say? I too was sipping the Kool-Aid, and I said the UNC is everything that they're advertised to be, and they're going to be the number one team in the nation. They're going to play like it. So I'm not afraid to give UNC their props when they deserve it. This is a very interesting get. This is a forward with a good feathery touch from outside and all that, but a forward that I'm looking at and saying, what else are you bringing? What else are you bringing to the party, brother? Bringing one thing that you do well ain't really in today's ACC. I don't know. I don't think that's ideal, but I digress.
Well, I told them to pick somebody from Louisville, but it surely wasn't Withers. It absolutely was L. Ellis because Caleb Love left. I felt like there was a guard opening. Not to say L. Ellis was a world-class, greatest guard I've ever seen, but I really feel like, it doesn't seem as if Hubert's out here running trying to get the latest and the greatest. So I would have taken L. At least got the dog and got some heart, got some effort. I will take that. Withers remains to be seen. I think anybody from that Louisville team of last year besides L, you got to show and prove for me. I'm not getting excited about any young man unless there is more to the Payne story about his coaching, his techniques, and inability. He couldn't pull out any goodness in some of his great players. Remains to be seen for me. Jury is officially out.
I mean, listen, I'm not a hater of this young man or anything. I'm not saying that, Jae'Lyn Withers is a terrible player and he won't do anything good. I'm sure that he'll positively impact that team in a spot where realistically, when you look at what North Carolina needed last year, I mean, a somebody on that front court who could kind of stretch the court a little bit would have been very helpful, especially with an Armando Bacot who needs space to operate underneath.
And you think Withers can do that?
I think he can. Yeah, I think he can. He was a 41% three-point shooter last year. He's got some touch to him now. That's the one thing that he does bring. That's the one thing.
Pete Nance came in and he was supposed to be of the same caliber, yet and still.
I mean, listen, you have a point. You're making a very valid point, and I'm not going to disagree with you when you're telling the truth.
Everybody wants a Brady, and Brady ain't coming back. Brady was a special moment. Brady was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He got everything but the bucket, and the bucket being a national championship. Y'all need to let that go.
Listen, all I'm saying is he's a very interesting get. There are lots of very, very talented, very good players that are still in the portal. So where all these dominoes will land is still to be seen. But it's interesting to see the early dominoes that are falling out for many of these teams because, I mean, you're looking at the third leading scorer, second leading rebounder on that Louisville team, that honestly, if it wasn't for that short little Durham native named L, they would have won, 2 games last year?
And he's a local. Withers is a local too, but my gosh, y'all don't listen. I think it's a men not listening thing for me today.
Wow, it's a men not listening thing. Boy, I tell you.
Y'all, I told you to go get me the grape juice with the raspberry in it.
You're gonna get us canceled. We just got 1,000 subscribers, and we're gonna come in tomorrow, and we're gonna see 830 because you
know what? If all it took for y'all is my generalization to leave, you ain't been listening to the show for real. So y'all can go ahead and go on about your way.
That's fair. We have been accused of being many things on this show.
I won't lose a wink of sleep, and the check's still clear on the first. So goodbye.
Does it clear on the first for you? I don't get paid. Never mind. We're not going there right now. David Locke, we got to talk. We'll hop on the phone. I'll have my people call your people. But anywho, no, seriously, this is the dominoes are falling out of the portal at this point, right? Like there's been enough time to where these players can kind of get a feel for where they want to be next and what they want to do. And so, this is one of the interesting dominoes to fall.
1,000%. We have other triangle news and cannot let you take the floor. Talk about another player who is going to be joining a little bit of that Hoop State energy out at NC State.
Well, for sure. And, we can't get too far away from the Jays, can we? We just, everybody is sticking with the theme of your name has to start with a J if we're going to bring you on. And Jaden Taylor of Butler, their leading scorer from last year, a 6'4" combo guard. I told everybody actually not last year, after the season, that Coach Keats has the only thing that is more valuable than playing time available to offer the players in the portal, and that's shots. You are guaranteed to have a good volume of shots if you're going to be one of the lead guards on this NC State team.
Well, ain't playing time and shots the same thing? It's not the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. You can have playing time that's like, hey, you're going to play some minutes. But so, like, for example, when we talked about Jae'Lyn Van Lith potentially going to Iowa, right? Like, there is playing time there. I don't think there are as many shots as there would be if she went to LSU. You see what I'm saying?
She's going to Miami. We can talk about that. That was my last segment. Go ahead.
Well, we can get into that later, but you get my point. I'm showing you the difference between playing time and shots.
Yes.
And the reality is, you know, with Mr. Taylor here coming to NC State, he'll have the ability to have the ball in his hands a lot. DJ Burns is a prolific scorer. He needs somebody to toss him that ball in the post. By the way, he slimmed down a lot. I saw him out at Dreamville Fest. He looked slim and trim. Boy, looked good. You look at Casey Morsell, prolific three-point shooter. He's gotten better and better and better by the year. He needs somebody to kick him that ball in position for him to shoot in order to be effective. And so with that being said, again, you have the ability to have the ball in your hands and shots. That is, to me, especially in the backcourt, especially for the guards, more valuable than gold. You give them the ability to showcase their offensive skills at a high level.
Well, I'm hoping that Burns and Taylor can definitely be a nice 1-2 punch in terms of, you know, feeding, because he's going to be needing to feed maybe to the right and the left this season, right? He's going to be able to be dual threat. You talk about a combo guard. Maybe, you know, Burns can have a combo shot attempt and all the things. So I'm excited to see how that pans out for the Pack. But it's just the way you even describe Taylor that makes it exciting. Like, you feel excited about him, right? You see the potential.
Absolutely.
I want to feel that for Withers, and I just it's going to get to me. Like, I'm maybe the first couple games.
I mean, here's the thing. Butler was not only a better team than Louisville was last year, but Jaden was the leading scorer.
Who wasn't a better team than Louisville last year?
Well, yes.
Were they the worst team in college basketball last year?
I don't think they were the worst team in college basketball.
Top two.
I mean, there's an argument for them being in the top, or the bottom 15, 10. I think that they're in that range.
Power Five's easily the worst.
They're of Power Fives, yeah. I'd say that they're top. They're bottom three, yeah, for sure. Bottom 3, 2. I don't think they're
they might be the worst.
I mean, remember, basketball has the Power 6, so the Big East is included in there, you know. But anyway,
as I was saying, I don't want to talk about the Big East right now, because UConn, honestly, people are trying to argue that the UConn needs to be a part of the ACC, and there's
an argument there. There's actually a very good argument there.
Listen, all right, did you put that in Jim Phillips' new contract that he just signed today, or okay?
I mean, Jim people call my people, you know what I mean? Me and Jim, you know what I mean? That's my boy. That's my Jimmy, we ain't got to talk about it, you know what I mean? I see you media days, Jim. I see you media days, baby.
Oh my gosh. I think Jim Phillips' new contract, which, you know, of course could be, you know, leading news, but for us, it's just, Jim, I'm still waiting to see why the ACC is talked about like a dirty dog. Like, let me know when we're ready to elevate the brand.
Sports.
Let me know when we're ready to elevate the brand. As soon as that happens, I'm all ears.
Get away from Valley permanently.
Well, as we round out the show, as I mentioned top, the Cavinder Twins are leaving Miami, but I mentioned yesterday, 2 days ago, rather, that there's an Adidas athlete looking for a new home. She's a prolific player. She's got a couple years left on the system. She's also blonde. NIL money. Here we go. Jae'Lyn Van Lith going to the Canes, calling it now.
Listen, let me warn all the blonde hair players in the ACC right now. Dye your hair brunette or black, because Candace Cooper is gunning for y'all.
How am I gunning? I appreciate it. I like the swap. I think it's an easy swap. She understands the shoe. It's just it's a different shade of red.
But can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What does Haley gain from going to Miami over staying at Louisville?
She's leaving Louisville for sure.
I know. I'm saying, what does she gain from leaving?
I mean, money.
Okay.
There's definitely way more money in Miami, way more opportunities, and we know that she's all about her NIL. There's money.
Okay, so there's money there. But has Miami been proven to be on the same level as, let's say, the school that was second place in getting her out of college?
They're more exciting.
No,
Maybe she maybe.
I'm saying in terms of like the ability to win ball games, win Final Fours, win national championships. You know what I mean?
I hear what you say on paper, but I'm talking about exciting. You want a little thrill.
If you're talking about putting money into sports and thrill, you're talking about a thrill now. Fun fact about LSU. They have, a lot of people said like, ooh, so interesting, the racial dynamic of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Fun fact, the University of Iowa has more black students than LSU.
It's not surprising.
I say that to say,
but I mean, what?
A lot of the
5% and 3%. Like,
a lot of the culture in Baton Rouge is that of New Orleans, and yet, so I say that to say, the entire state gives money to that. There's not like a, hey, we're lacking for boosters. Those people.
So you're saying she's gonna be a better fit at LSU than Miami?
What I'm saying is, whatever you say she can get at Miami, 9 times out of 10, objectively speaking, she can probably get a better version of that, more of that, a higher profile version of that at LSU.
But will she have more fun? And will she be able to wear her same shoes?
I don't think the shoes make that big of a deal.
It does if you have a contract and you breach it. It absolutely does.
If you have a contract and I'm sure that there would be a discussion beforehand of, hey, will y'all buy out my contract with such and so that I can go over here? It's just the same way that when coaches switch teams, the old school, they're still bound to them by contract. The new school just stays on.
I hear you, but as someone who works with a brand, NIL is very tricky, and not every brand is treated equally.
I understand,
especially for athletes.
I get you, and what I'm saying is, whatever Adidas has her like golden handcuffs at, I'm willing to bet my left arm that Nike would say, "Hey there, buddy. If you want to come with us, checks over stripes. We got a check for you, all right."
Yeah, but she is marketable as an Angel Reese, as the other girls that they probably already have on their roster. Like, to me, I'm not running after Haley Vanlin.
Now, and again, you talked about this. So you talked about they call, what's Angel Reese's nickname?
Bayou Barbie.
Bayou Barbie. It was based on the Barbie doll, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does Barbie the doll actually look like? Like the original doll. What does it look like?
What do you mean?
You were the one talking all episode about blonde hair. Now don't get crazy like you don't know that Barbie also had blonde hair.
But she already has the staple of being Barbie, so they're gonna have 2 Barbies.
No. Is it the first time that we've ever seen a nickname be co-opted or added to other people?
And don't you think that would just draw more controversy than necessary?
You know what? Also, there's a phrase that there's no such thing as bad publicity, and all press is good press. I am telling you again, when it comes
that don't mean that when you can't capitalize and execute them X's and O's.
Winning covers over a multitude of sins, and you'll have the nation's all-time leader in consecutive double-doubles with one of the most prolific players out of the best college basketball conference in terms of women's basketball last year on the same team. They'll figure it out. You're defending national champs for a reason. They'll work it on out.
That's because Caitlin Clark got the best of South Carolina. But that's neither here nor there. All that to say, Haley still remains to be seen where she's going to go. My vote is Miami. Kenton's vote is clearly LSU. I cannot wait till we can finally figure this out and have an episode about it. But there's more portal party news, and we still have to talk about spring games. My God, football is happening. It's all happening at once. Everything, what is it? Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Mm-hmm. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
We deserve an Academy Award for this episode because Lord knows you stressed me out. Guys, make sure you check out Locked On College Basketball anywhere you listen to podcasts, as well as our channel. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. You can listen to us anywhere you listen. Follow us on Twitter at Locked On ACC. We appreciate all friendly, fun feedback. If it ain't that, keep it to yourself. Give us 5 stars on Apple Music. We appreciate it. All the reviews, good, bad, and ugly. Check still clear on the first. For Candace Cooper and Kenton Gibbs. Until next time.